Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to make this curried chicken and rice soup that I have right here, and I'll show it to you a little bit in a few minutes, a little bit closer. A lot of you have asked, well, where do you find your recipes? And I just love to look online, and what I'll do is I'll print recipes out that I want to try, and I put them in this book. And I was actually looking through here for something else, and I saw curried chicken and rice. I never tried that, and I read the ingredients and I said, oh, this is going to be good. So I cooked it last week. It was fabulous. I got some requests to make it again, so I wanted to share it with you. So let me just show you a little bit of a close-up of this. And I've got some fresh mint from my garden, some dill, because I don't have any fresh dill. I need to go get some and plant it in the herb garden, and then a couple of lemon slices. You can use all of those as garnish for this soup. So here's this beautiful curry soup. It's got that golden color. And of course, I was telling you, you can use these different items for garnishment. Okay, I've sprinkled a little bit of dill onto the soup, and I'm also going to just, I've added a little bit of mint just as a garnishment. But if you love mint, you can actually chop some leaves up and add it to the soup. Squeeze a little bit of lemon on top, and you are ready to enjoy this lovely chicken curried soup. So thanks everybody for watching with me, and I'll be coming back next week with some more videos on cooking. And I just appreciate every one of you that's commented, reached out to me and asked questions, and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share this channel. It helps. You're going to start with a Dutch oven on your stove top, and I'm placing one chicken breast into the Dutch oven. I haven't turned the fire on or anything yet. We'll add 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, so sprinkle that over. You also need 2 medium carrots, or about 8 to 10 small carrots chopped up. And of course those are still raw. 1 bay leaf. And then you're going to add your liquids. So we'll use 3 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to turn the heat on and bring this to a boil, and then we will simmer it on medium to low for 20-25 minutes until that chicken is just falling apart. So we'll add the rest of the chicken stock. And by the way, I found this recipe on the Food Network, so I'll share that link with you as well. So we'll just bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to cover it and let it cook. Now you're going to take a small saucepan and melt 2 tablespoons of real butter in this saucepan. And I'm going to add a couple of seasonings. And then we're going to cook some onions. So you'll need 1 large onion chopped, or diced really. You want it small. So I'm going to add a surprise ingredient, 1 teaspoon of sugar, believe it or not. And then we'll add 1 teaspoon of salt. So you got your sweet and your savory going into this butter. And we'll let that melt, and then we're going to add our onion. And your onion will take about 5 minutes to cook. You just want them to become translucent. And don't worry about chunky pieces of onion in this soup, because you'll see what we're going to do to this mixture. All right, that's looking good, so I'm going to go ahead and add this onion. As you can see, it's a generous cup. When you do a large onion, it's a good, at least a cup. a vegetable. So we'll let that cook down for 5 minutes and then move forward. So your onions have been cooking for 5 minutes now, and I'm going to go ahead and curry it. So we'll add 1.5 teaspoons of yellow curry powder. And you want to let that heat up, so you'll cook it for about a minute. And as you can see, I'm just stirring it around to coat all of the onions. So we'll just let that, the heat kind of activate the spice. And y'all, my kitchen just smelled so good. And in the background, you can see the chicken is cooking in the Dutch oven, getting tender. And now I want you to grab 1/3 cup of rice. You can use Jasmine. I used a brown Basmati. And of course, Basmati takes a little bit longer to cook, so I had to adjust my cooking time. If you use Jasmine, you can get away with 20 minutes. With Basmati, you need at least 30. And you just check the grains until they're soft. So I've started adding our liquids. We're going to add 3 cups of chicken broth. So this soup has a lot of flavor. It's a great replacement actually for chicken noodle soup if you're burnt out on chicken noodle soup. This one is just fabulous. I'm so glad I found the recipe in my recipe book to try. So there you go. We're going to bring this to a boil, cover it, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes. Just depends on your rice. Meanwhile, I've switched burners and brought the Dutch oven up front, and I'm going to take the chicken out. It's been cooking about 25 minutes, and as you will see, it is so tender. It's going to just fall apart when I shred it and add it back into the Dutch oven. So there you go. There's your chicken breast. And that's, I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I shred it. And I'll also take this bay leaf out because you don't want to leave that in your soup. It's really just for flavor. All right. Now we're going to shred up this chicken, but actually I'm going to cut it. I wanted larger chunks than you get with a typical shred. You can shred with 2 forks, just pulling in opposite directions. But I'm going to cut this into bite-sized pieces, just using a fork and steak knife. And some of you might say, well, hey, can I use rotisserie chicken for this? Well, I don't suggest you do because it's going to change the flavor. And this soup has such a distinctive taste to it. You really just want to start with a chicken breast and cook it on your stovetop. So this is almost ready to add back into the broth. And my broth is just on a low simmer. Barely even on because it's so hot already. And believe it or not, this soup is almost finished. So there you go. Now take your rice mixture, make sure that your grains are done. Mine cooked for about 30 minutes. And you're going to pour this into your blender. And I'll blend it up on about level 6. So you want it pretty smooth but not liquefied. And now we're all blended through the magic of video, and you're going to add this back to the soup. Stir this around, and this soup is ready to serve. And again, you can garnish with dill, mint, a little bit of lemon, and it just smells fabulous in my home. Thanks for watching.